Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video, and in today's video I thought we could talk about one of my favourite characters in One Piece, Roronoa Zoro. Now this is a new thing for me, so tell me in the comments how you think I can improve and make things better for you, and so I can make content that everyone enjoys. So with that said, I think we're just going to get into it. So just for a bit of a heads up, just because we're going to be trying to find out how strong Zoro will be in the future, there's not going to be much Zoro talk in this video, okay? It's going to be mainly talking about Dracula Mihawk, because that's the person he's going to have to overcome, and so we're going to be talking about how strong we think he is, and then that means that we can build up how strong Zoro is by the end of the video. So I just hope everyone gets that and then doesn't like tell me in the comments, oh, this video was basically about Mihawk and not Zoro. So I just wanted to say that. Okay, so as everyone knows, Zoro's dream is to become the greatest swordsman, and to do that he has to defeat all the current swordsmen who are at a high level. So people like obviously Mihawk, who is the current strongest. He's got to fight Vista and everyone like that. He's going to be fighting everyone like that and defeating them, and then by the end of the series he's probably going to become the strongest swordsman, whether that's defeating Mihawk, or if Mihawk gets defeated by someone like Shiryu or the Rain, he's going to have to defeat one of those. And so we're going to be trying to place how strong we think Zoro is going to be, judging from how strong those kind of characters are, and I thought a good one would be to do Mihawk. So the last time that we actually saw Zoro fight Mihawk, just to get a base of how far they are apart from each other, it was in chapter 51 was the last time that we saw them fight, because we know that they probably had like a little fight during the time skip, but we didn't get to see it. So the last fight that we saw was chapter 51, and we all know how that ended for Zoro. It wasn't the best. He used this like little tiny butter knife to fight Zoro with, and then Zoro came out with this massive cut along his chest, and he was absolutely no match for Mihawk. However, since we saw that fight, Zoro has gotten a lot stronger, whether it was by being trained by Mihawk, he's gotten a lot stronger since then, or just by training on the ship and then fighting stronger people makes him stronger as well. So I think that he is a lot stronger, but I still think that he is nowhere near Mihawk's level. We know that Zoro is nowhere near Mihawk's level because Mihawk was a rival to Shanks, and I don't think that Zoro would be a rival to Shanks. The only reason why Mihawk and Shanks don't fight anymore is because obviously Shanks lost his arm when he saved Luffy, and so Mihawk doesn't really find him as a worthy fight anymore just because he lost his arm, even though that's probably a bunch of lies. He probably still would be able to be a good fighter against Mihawk. Now, I personally don't think that Mihawk is actually stronger than Shanks. I think Shanks is a little bit stronger, not too much stronger, you know, but I think he's a little bit stronger. Otherwise, I don't know, it's just going to be a bit weird. But I think that Shanks doesn't really care about being the greatest swordsman. He just wants to be like an emperor and have his own crew and just have fun. But now we can get a kind of rough idea of how strong Shanks is to then compare him to Mihawk, because they are basically kind of like similar strengths, I would guess, because that's how Oda has set it out to be. And to get how strong Shanks is, we can look at people like Big Mom and Kaido, who are basically about the same level as Shanks, you could put it as, because they're all emperors of the sea and they've all been at the top for so long, and they've all like fought each other. They've also fought loads of marines, other different pirates. So I'd say that those guys are about the same level with each other. Obviously there might be like a little tiny gap between Kaido and Big Mom, or Shanks and Kaido, or something like that, but they're about the same strength, I'd say. So I think a good place to put Shanks and then obviously Mihawk, and to say that when Whitebeard and Shanks had a little clash, the power from like them clashing together was able to part the sky. Now I would guess that this was them using armament haki, even though that in the series it wasn't really a thing, but obviously it's going to be put in as that it was armament haki, because I don't think it's just like a normal clash that would be able to do that. But it could also be the evolution of it, whatever you want to call the next stage of armament haki, if you want to call it Ryuo or just advanced armament haki. But yeah, it was obviously going to be something either like that or just normal armament haki. And I think that we can say that Shanks can use the Ryuo, or whatever you want to call it, because in the most recent chapter of One Piece, which is chapter 1001, just in case, depending on when you're watching it, because you could watch it when we already know everything about Shanks, but we know that in chapter 1001, when Kaido's thinking of the people who can damage him, one of the people that he thinks of is Shanks. So that gives us a rough idea that we can actually say that Shanks uses advanced armament haki. So then building off that, I think that then we can say that Mihawk uses advanced armament haki. Otherwise, I don't think that it would be a fair fight at all if Mihawk can't and Shanks can. Now I think we should talk about durability. I don't think that talking about durability and then comparing Shanks to Kaido's durability would be fair, because Kaido is an absolute monster when it comes to durability. I don't think there's anyone with more durability than him in the series. So I think when we're talking about durability, I think we should go off Big Mum's, because that's a more accurate kind of thing, especially because we know that she's got normal durability, but we're not sure what's happening with Kaido. He could just have this crazy thing that's made him just basically, it could be part of his devil fruit that's made him absolutely strong. So saying Big Mum's durability is nowhere near Kaido's isn't really a bad thing. It's just because Kaido's got amazing durability. Big Mum does have really, really good durability though. We saw that with Brook when he was using his special move where he was spinning through the sky and landed straight on her chest, and then it literally done nothing to her. It just like bounced off her chest, and then that was it. Another good test for her durability was when Luffy hit her in Gear 4, you know, his strongest mode at the time, and then it literally done nothing to her. She just stood there and laughed, and then she even had the audacity just to like move out her hand, and then Luffy got absolutely destroyed and then got sent out of Gear 4. That's all we really get to see with Big Mum's durability, and so I'm going to place Mihawk around that level because I think that's an achievable level for Mihawk to be at in the series. Now, I think at a minimum, Mihawk will have Future Sight, but it is quite possible that he will have something that goes even higher than Future Sight. I just want to say that we could place him around the Future Sight, maybe see a bit more into the future than Katakuri could, and just because I think that he's obviously called Dracul Hawkeye Mihawk, so that's just like saying how good his eyes are and how good his observation haki, or he might have something completely different because obviously Fujitora has something completely different to Future Sight. That's an upgraded version of his observation haki, so he could have something even greater than that. I think that's a good rough estimate of where he is, because I think that he will have one of the best. I think it's going to be better than Katakuri's, and I think that it's going to be on the same level as Yasop. Yasop obviously has amazing observation haki because he is a marksman. He's probably the best marksman in the series at the moment. I'm just going to say at the moment because Blackbeard does have a marksman who's probably going to be even better than Yasop, but at the moment I would say that it would go Yasop and then Mihawk and then Fujitora. I'm not sure what the next evolution of observation haki would be, but I am interested to see what you would think what the next evolution of observation haki would be. So put it down in the comments what you think it would be. It's going to be fun to read all your comments to see what you think it is. I also think Mihawk will be able to use Conqueror's Haki, and I also think that Zoro is going to be able to use Conqueror's Haki because obviously Zoro is going to be the right-hand man of the King of the Pirates. He's going to be the greatest swordsman, and I think it all just links up that he will have Conqueror's Haki, especially because in the anime, I'm not sure if it shows it in the manga, but in the anime, you do get to see like a kind of Conqueror's Haki kind of thing where he goes into the minds of people, and then it's kind of like a genjutsu that you would see like Itachi use in Naruto where he uses Tsukuyomi, where you can like basically feel yourself getting cut and that. But Zoro done that to like the people in the gambling house, if you remember in Wano, where he like basically cut them in half and then they all just collapse. So I think that Mihawk will also have Conqueror's Haki as well as Zoro. Mihawk could have the next stage of Conqueror's Haki, but I'm not sure what it could be, and it might not be the most useful in a fight. I'm not really sure because from what I've seen, Conqueror's Haki isn't really the best. You wouldn't say it was the best because it just knocks out people who are weaker than you. So when you're fighting someone like Zoro will be fighting Mihawk, I don't think Conqueror's Haki will be the best thing to use. I think it's a good way to test people's strength. So Shanks might use it against Luffy when Luffy pulls up to like either fight him or do whatever he wants. Shanks will probably test out Luffy's strength by using his full Conqueror's Haki against him. Now, with all that said, I think we can make a guess at the abilities Zoro can use by the end of the series. First of all, I think he will use Advanced Armament Haki and probably something stronger than what Luffy can use at the moment in Wano, because I think Mihawk's obviously going to be stronger than Luffy is now, and so I think that this is just like the first step to being able to use amazing Armament Haki that Luffy's at now, so I think Zoro might be able to use that too. I also think that Zoro will have Future Sight or something round about that kind of like thing, because he's going to obviously have to keep up with Mihawk, and Mihawk's going to be using Future Sight or whatever he has to be able to destroy Zoro, so Zoro's going to have to be able to keep up with his fights and then just be able to counter everything that he does. His durability is probably going to be on the same level as Big Mum's, where normal stab wounds from someone who is as strong as Zoro as he is now won't be able to pierce the skin. He will also have mastered Enma, I think, you know, the sword that was able to cut Kaido, and I think it would be cool if he got Shodai Katetsu. That's like the better version of the Katetsu sword that he's got now by the time he fights Mihawk, and then obviously he'll have the Wado Ichimonji. So those are three amazing swords that are probably some of the strongest that are in the series that we've seen. I also think that Zoro will be able to put up a fight and then win against some of the admirals, obviously not all at the same time, but I think he will be able to beat like people like Akainu, Kizaru, and Aokiji, Fujitora, people like that. I think that he'll be able to win against if they had like a one-on-one fight, kind of like Rayleigh and Kizaru was doing. But obviously Rayleigh's a lot weaker than he was in his prime because he's like 80 now. But then I obviously don't think he's going to be stronger than people like Kaido and Blackbeard, as he will be like the final antagonist of the series who Luffy has to fight against. So I don't think he's going to be that strong. I think he's going to be stronger than Shiryu because he's probably going to be one of the people that Zoro has to fight. Maybe it is Shiryu by the end of the series, where it's going to be Blackbeard versus Luffy and Shiryu versus Zoro. But anyway, that is going to be it for the video today. I hope you did enjoy the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you did like it. Tell me how I can improve, and I will see you in the next video. I hope everyone has a good day, and peace.